And a jolly good morning to you from a slightly blustery, potentially showery and autumnal city of Ely in Cambridgeshire. And today I'm just going to be taking a bit of a walk around this famous old city with its cathedral and connections to Oliver Cromwell and one or two other things, and just see what there is to see today. It's a Wednesday in October, so it's probably not going to be quite as full of tourist visitors that there ordinarily would be in the summer and at weekends, so it might be nice and peaceful to have a little look around today. But we'll go and have a see. Just left the railway station now. I'm going to head on to have a little wander around the city using my faithful old Go Jauntly app. As it's quite a small city, I'm going to probably do two little Go Jauntly walks and join them together to make something hopefully interesting. But as always with many of my walks, I usually end up down alleyways and pathways that most people don't go down. And let's see where we end up. There's a little tap house at the railway station with local beers, and a big Tesco's just over the road, should you need any supplies when you come here. But in the centre of Ely itself, you'll find plenty of cafes and restaurants, pubs and bars, etc, etc, enough to keep every thirsty tourist happy. I shan't be partaking of that, not this morning anyway, but I'm sure the coffee will be in order a little bit later on. Just going to follow the app. I've requested about a 3-mile walk, which, as I can see, does seem to head through the centre of the city towards the end. Once I've completed that, then there's a walk along the river that I'll do. As the River Great Ouse comes through here in Ely. Be interested to see, actually, there's been a lot of rain recently and a lot of flooding in this part of Britain, just to see how high up the river is, because Ely itself is it's kind of a little island surrounded by water and reclaimed land and so on. So yeah, that's certainly dry enough where I am now. As I mentioned before, what I like a lot about the Go Jauntly app is it doesn't operate like Google Maps, where it just sends you the quickest way possible. It sends you up little side streets and alleyways, past places you probably wouldn't otherwise see, and generally speaking would be better than walking along the main road, which is exactly what's happened here, although there isn't a great deal to see up this particular side road. This is Gas Lane, and we're just turning onto Potter's Lane. So we're going to be walking partly across the Ely City Golf Course, which must have pedestrian access across it, or at least across the bit I'm being sent. These apps that we use are not 100% accurate necessarily. There's been a few times where I've been sent to places I wasn't supposed to go, but yeah, if you just keep your eyes peeled for signs and so on, nothing normally can go wrong. Worst that can happen is you'll be politely asked to turn around and go back again. And yeah, it's just directing me down this public footpath now, which I hope is not too overgrown. There's been so much rain this year that vegetation has gone absolutely crazy. And there's been a few public footpaths that have been sent down that have become more or less impassable, but we've seen that due to the housing development going on here, there's been a bit of cutting back being done to allow for these fences to be put in place, so that's probably done us a favour. If you want to come to Ely, we will get to the city centre eventually on this walk. Obviously you can jump ahead to that part of the video. This is just a general walk around the city. Most go straight for the city centre area where the cathedral is. We will come to that, of course, but it's always nice to have a little look around these towns and cities of the UK to see what there is above and beyond the major attractions. I've never known so much rain, even for Britain, which is known for raining quite a bit. But this year has been incredible, with flooding and all sorts. And this part of the UK has had 3 or 4 times its normal amount of rain for September. 3 or 4 times is a lot. Here we go, the obligatory power tool in operation when I start recording. Some wood cutting going on, I think. Right, so here we go. Here's a sign. Always confuses many. Permissive footpath only, no public right of way. So I guess what that's saying is permission's been granted to walk across here, but you've no right to do it, and they can tell you not to if they want to. That's how I interpret that. This is part of the grounds of King's Ely School, College. Let's have some nice looking sports facilities, it has to be said. Just walking past a primary school here on the right, so I'm not going to video into there or around it for obvious reasons. You sometimes come across things like this as well, where footpaths are closed for one reason or another. Just spoken to a guy who's looking after the greens here at the golf course. Doing a fine job, I have to say. Now, he said people have been walking up and down here, and by the looks of it I can't see why you wouldn't do. And there's recently trodden down grass here, so yeah, I mean, just you have to sort of exercise a bit of caution. Looks like they've closed it. The gas company were doing some work here, and it's sort of left it a bit muddy and uneven, but once you pass this little bit here, it seems to be okay. So I don't have to go and double back on myself, which can be a little bit annoying sometimes, particularly if you're restricted to time. There you go, sorted. Now we're turning on to Cambridge Road, which presumably is, or was, the main road between Ely and Cambridge. Can't imagine this is the main route to get between the two anymore, because it's not that busy. I think there must be another road people use. I'm turning straight off it anyway. Big water tower there. A lot of mobile phone masts on it. according to the lines of elevation above sea level, that literally the land it's on is the highest point for miles around here, which is obviously why they've put it there. Tower Court, the big house just to the left over the other side of this fence. So we're just wandering through the residential streets of Ely now. And the rain, it's quite steady, but it's not particularly hard. I don't mind weather like this too much, not likely to cause too much bother. If it gets a bit harder, then a bit of shelter will be sought. A bit of a sports ground here, and get the feeling that the goalkeeper's 6-yard box needs sorting out. Look at this. Get Trenchfoot being in goal here. Same, but not quite so bad at the other end. Toss up, what do you do? Play to the wet end or the dry end? Outdoor gym. But nobody ever goes on that to do anything. So where are we here in Ely? For those of you that are from Ely, you might know Beresford Road. There's a school just over there to the right, behind the trees. I can hear the children out in the playground. Shortly be coming to a road called the A10, which I imagine is the road that takes the bulk of the traffic between Ely and Cambridge, and is a newer road. Of course, the Cambridge Road was the original before they created what I'm guessing is a bypass around Ely. I'll be walking parallel to that for about half a mile before I start curving back round into the city. Right out on the outskirts really now in this fairly newish housing estate. Start to hear the traffic from the A10 building up now. I'm not going to be walking along it, thankfully. Just walking kind of on the edge of this estate on footpaths that are this side of the tree lines and roadside of the A10, so that'll be a vast improvement to some walks I've ended up on, having to schlep along what amount to almost motorways. Never great, but sometimes it has to be done. If you check out my Lee Valley walk all the way from Luton to London, part 4 probably. I'm just trying to think which section it was now, around Hertford to where I think was the one, right? There was literally no other option, and it was a boiling hot day. Bit of a nightmare really, but there you go. Might amuse some, I suppose. And yeah, so there's the A10 over there, and here's the convenient little footpath that's well away from it. So I turned off the A10 now, that kind of goes bypasses the city, West Fen Road. So yeah, as I say, the Cambridgeshire Fens surround Ely, and in the main these days have been drained away to reclaim land to build on. Ely itself, if you find some very old drawings in a museum, you'll see it looking like an island surrounded pretty much by water all the way around. Not so anymore, although I'm surprised there isn't a bit more water than I'm actually seeing, considering how much rain there's been. Turning back into the city now, and I presume we'll take a similar sort of route as we took coming out of it through residential areas, across parks and so on, back to the city. Back to Beresford Road again. It seems to be a long road that's broken up into different sections. Slowly arriving back into the older parts of Ely now. There's Hills Lane just there on the left to that lovely old house with its exposed wooden beams. There's some nice cottages just along here as well. Once we get down to the riverside, which is kind of where this part of the walk's going to end, you'll see that there's lots of pubs and cafes and so on. And on a nice day, it really is nice sitting there and having a drink by the river. And I think I'll complete this walk by taking a stroll along the river, across it and back into Ely on the other side. I'll have a little look at that once I get there. Certainly plenty of Union flags outside this place, the West End House. That's quite an appealing kind of village type pub on the edge of a town or city, as Ely is. One of the smallest cities of the UK. I think St David's in Wales is the smallest. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I've taken a slight deviation away from the go jauntily instructions, mainly because I wasn't paying attention, I'll be honest with you, but it doesn't really matter. I just sort of curve around this way. But that fine building you see directly ahead is Ely Cathedral, so we're almost back into the city centre, and I think we'll be going past Oliver Cromwell's house fairly shortly. I'll go past it just to have a little look to see what information there is with regards to paying a visit and having a look round. One of the more appealing tourist information offices that you'll come across, and I'm guessing a good starting point for a trip to Ely, rather than just wandering around the suburbs. And Oliver Cromwell's house, visitor attraction, this is here. Visitor attraction and tourist information office, and free to go in, so pop in, have a look around. Before my brain registers the £4 lunch from Domino's, I'm going to swiftly turn away back round this way towards the cathedral. It's slightly too early for lunch anyway, and I'm not a big fan of Domino's. Controversial, I know, but I'm not. However, any port in a storm, as they say. If you're hungry and they're the only ones, you'll be in there. Right, anyway, I digress. Let's head off down towards the very centre of Ely. Have a little look around the cathedral. Probably not going to go in today. I will leave that to those who... Saying that, I might do. Haven't decided properly yet. going to go away, but he clearly isn't. Just doing his job, of course, cleaning the streets up a little bit. He's probably the noisiest road sweeper I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, last time I was in Ely, it was a summer's day, a very warm and hot summer's day, and all around here where I'm walking now, which is rather soggy today, was absolutely packed with people. Sat down with picnics and eating their sandwiches and so on. So pick your days when you want to come here. It can get very busy here, and a rather dull Wednesday morning in October, you'll find it a little bit more like this. But don't forget your coat and your brolly. £14 to visit the cathedral. Concessions also available. What we got going on here? There's two names you don't see next to each other very often. Welcome to the largest independent bookshop in East Anglia. 22nd of October. Oh, they're not there at the same time. Rick Astley and Susie Dent. I'm sure most British people will know who Susie Dent is, and most British people and some from slightly further afield will know who Rick Astley is. What on earth they're doing at a bookshop in Ely in Cambridgeshire, I do not know. Let's go around this way. I'll tell you what though, there's some nice food being cooked around here somewhere. Being pumped in the smell's being pumped in my general direction. There's an old Lloyd's Bank building, look at that, and it's still a Lloyd's Bank, which is quite incredible because most of them have closed down now. Well, most banks in smaller towns and cities have. I'm pleased to see that's still there. Right, here we are, High Street. Slight array and mixture of different sorts of businesses and shops and so on here, from the quaint to the just sort of bog normal really. I know we have to have them, but aren't bins an absolute eyesore? So many of them these days, of course. Double, triple and quadrupled amounts because of separating for recycling, which is only right. I'm not saying we shouldn't have them, but yeah, you can't just tuck them away like you used to be able to. There's too many of them, and invariably they're too big now as well. But, quite often when you're trying to take a nice photograph of a street or something, the picture's completely ruined by a big pile of dustbins. Case in point, just coming up now. Car isn't helping either, but there you go. Even though it says no parking at any time. Naughty man from Soham. Previously mentioned, the centre of Ely is very small. Hard to believe it's even a city, but of course size isn't everything when it comes to that. And city status was of course bestowed upon the place a very long time ago by the monarch, and of course it's got a big cathedral as well, so meets plenty of criteria. Just on Market Street now, it's pretty much full up of the usual array of high street stuff, such as, well, as you can see, the usual array of well-known names and one or two that you may not have heard of. Dolphin Lane, love it. Ely markets, presumably there's a market here on some days of the week, but not today. And what I can tell you is that way is north. There's certainly a nice coffee smell coming from the Silver Oak coffee truck over there. I'm going to head down towards the river now. Don't know what that's all about on the top of the post box. Better go and look. Just getting down towards the waterfront along the River Ouse, or the Ely Ouse as it's sometimes known here. Excuse me. There's a marina as well, lots of boats, and quite a hive of activity, certainly at the weekends in summer. Be a bit quieter today, as will the restaurants. There's a big well-known restaurant and pub along here, and yeah, I should imagine, well, it's still only, it's not noon yet, so I can't imagine that will be very busy just yet. I'll take a little walk along the river in a moment. Never too much rain for these guys. I love it. I'm going to conclude the walk here later on, as the station is generally back in that direction. In fact, I can see the overhead lines for the railway line just there. The station is just over there somewhere. So I'm going to carry on the walk now along the riverside, down in that general direction. I'm not going to go too far today, but you can walk quite a long way down there. Again, last time I was here, it was a warm summer's day, and this area was very busy with people with their sandwiches out and so on. It's nice to see. Of course, this is a river, not a canal, and this is the Fens Riverway, or Fen Riverway. So unlike a canal, which doesn't really flow as such, this is flowing, and quite a lot at the moment because of the amount of rain that there's been. The Ouse, Great Ouse, tends to be a quite slow meandering river usually, due to the flat nature of the land around here. There's certainly more water in there than there normally is. The weather's starting to take a turn for the worse now. The forecast this morning actually just said sunshine and showers, but the sunshine part of that seems to have been missing. And although it's not pouring down like a shower, it's kind of a steady sprinkle of rain today, which is it's not bothering me too much walking around here, but it will put many off, I should think. Apart from the guys back there fishing, nothing seems to put those guys off. Definitely more showers than sunshine today. Don't you love the name that they come up with for tribute bands? I just see one advertised straight ahead of me now, Brentwood Mac. Now, for those of you that don't know, Brentwood is a town in Essex, so presumably these guys come from there. And of course they're paying tribute to Fleetwood Mac, but that's a great name, Brentwood Mac. One does look a bit like Stevie Nicks, and I guess the guy top left does look a little bit like Mick Fleetwood. I'm not too sure about the rest of them saying that, but hey, does that matter? Of course it doesn't. It's what they sound like that's important, and if they can bang out a decent Fleetwood Mac tune, then they get my vote. So this is really the other centre or hub of Ely, the place where you come for sitting out on a Sunday afternoon having a pint or something to eat. So it's a little bit sorry for itself today, I suppose. It's still a little early for people wanting to have their lunch. I'm sure some will be around later, but they'll be sitting indoors, not on the outside. Excuse me. There are people in there, I can just see them. It's darkened windows, but having a cup of tea. Sure if there's supposed to be slightly more water tumbling down than that, but sort of kind of makes me need the loo. I love the way outside this pub, which is probably more of a restaurant these days than just a pub. They've got these railings because as I remember in summer it gets quite busy along here, and well, you know, the combination of a couple of pints, too many people accidentally banging into each other, and well, you can imagine the outcome, or indeed staggering down those steps and forgetting to stop. I shouldn't laugh. Let's get some railings there just to be on the safe side. So, right, yeah, as I say, this is really the second central hub of Ely, and a place to come to kick back, relax, have a drink, have a coffee, tea, something to eat, and generally chill out. As I say, if you come at the weekends in the summer on a nice day, it will be extremely busy here. Very quiet today. I'm sure it will liven up a little bit later on once lunchtime starts properly. So that's it from me here in the middle of the UK, the middle of England, the middle of Cambridgeshire, and in the city of Ely. If you like the video, please press like, subscribe if you want to see some more. I've got loads of videos from other places around the UK, around Europe and further afield. And yeah, you can press that yellow bell as well. Apparently that will let you know when videos are released. So thank you for watching. If you like it, as I say, press the like button. If you didn't, what you're doing, still watching, but press the thumbs down button twice. All's good. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers for now. I'll catch you in the next one.